Hello and welcome to Scott Schilling Speaks. Another great episode today. I know that for the fact because of my guest. Gosh, how do we share all the goodness she's putting in the world right now? I mean, just absolutely amazing. Started the she economy movement. IamShe.Live, prayer calls, just so many good things. My sister from another mister, Dr. Tina Michelle. How are you, Tina? Thanks for joining me.
Hello, thank you. Thank you so much.
You know, ever since the day we met, it's just been fun working together and working to figure out how we can serve so many people. And I know your latest project and what you're really working on now is Hope Reimagined. Share with everybody a little bit about what that is.
Well, after some of the things that we've all been walking through together, right? It's already a challenge. Let me back up a little bit. It's a challenge when you sort of hit a bump in the road in regular life, right? And you have to sort of reconnect and revision some of the things that got you excited about your purpose and your call in the first place. But when the whole planet went through it at the same time, it's a little more daunting because people like you and I, who are always in a position to bring courage to people and try to empower them, we needed the courage. We needed the empowerment. We needed a new way to vision our lives in the midst of this without being ignorant to what's going on, but not having so much of it feeding into our spirits that we come to a dead stop. So I found myself, even when I saw you last in December 2019, can you believe it's been that long?
Hard to believe.
We were talking about SheCon and SheCon.Live. Even the theme then, even before the pandemic, was Hope Reimagined. And I just don't see another soundbite that makes sense right now. It's for people to continuously be committed to reimagining core purpose, reimagining what that core purpose looks like through your core identity and what outcomes you can create from that place.
Absolutely. Again, it kind of sparked in me when we were in that event, and we were doing a live event in Phoenix, and we had so much encouragement that we were so ready to go forward and started that, and yet all of a sudden, oops. Well, I remember talking about the year of vision coming, right? 2020, it's the year of vision. Here's where we go. And all of a sudden a screeching stop for the world, not just us.
What's crazy, if you remember what was going on in my little tiny world, 2019 was the year of the remix for me.
Right.
So I found myself in February 2019 really hearing strong from spirit, do things differently, cut costs, stop looking at the big event, stop looking at the big broadcast, do skinny boutique events, focus on distribution, focus on making faster and wider, reduce CapEx. I mean, everything was a shift. It was literally at right at Super Bowl 2019, which was in Atlanta that year. I really I said to myself, I don't like all this Hollywood, red carpet, I know you're somebody, who am I, that all type, that type of stuff. I was sort of going back to Elizabeth Barrett Browning in some of my, my elementary classical teaching that said, I'm nobody, who are you, right? That's the poem that she wrote. And so I'm looking around and I'm having almost a complete mental breakdown going, I hate this. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I don't care if you're famous. What are we contributing to the world? And then coming back to Phoenix, Arizona, going, I'm shutting everything down. I'm reducing my budget. I'm shifting my footprint, and I'm going to re-envision life in a way that fits what I see that I would be comfortable with, which is to do less, but is to have less to do, but actually have more impact. Who knew that I was being prepared for 2020 when you came to that event? It was such a struggle for me because the women empowerment events that we did before that had 1,000, 2,000 people at the events. There were these big bloated type of hoorah things. And I heard specifically from Spirit, make it small, make it intimate, make it meaningful. And I'm so grateful. You have no idea how grateful I am that I was present enough to hear. Because what we were able to do, Shelley Hunt and I and other partners during this pandemic, is just create safe spaces for people. You know, connection times virtually. Just, you know, I know people got zoomed out, but we, you know, just to be able to be on the line with your girlfriends and play throwback 80s music and then schedule it and plan it, and not becoming almost a business model with no income, but becoming the return on investment was happiness, right? So that people could be mentally stable and it made me do more than I ever could have imagined. I was talking to my girlfriends from high school, and we're listening to like Depeche Mode and like Toto, right, on a Zoom line, and having a blast. Which when the world was open, we had no time to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it amazing how that little stop down made so much difference? What just popped into my head is when we were filming that event in Phoenix, I had one of my friends from high school, and I know that's not that many years ago, but the fact
like 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So friends that I played sports with and whatever came and was an audience member there. And it was such a great event to be able to kind of show the growth, but also regain some of a little bit of what's really important.
Yeah.
What an amazing thing. So who would have thought we would have gone into a shutdown the way we did? I know you turned it up on some of the broadcasts you were doing. The only difference is it was done in a different fashion, much like we're doing here today. You know, you can pick the TV shows and you don't have to sit in a big old studio anymore and have those expenses necessarily to be able to deliver some amazing content. So what else did you do when this all hit? What were the other big shifts? I mean, again, spending time with friends definitely became possible. So
I think recalibrating. And I was, you know, in such a horrible situation, I was really able to think about some of the things that I was doing and committed to, and realize I have the opportunity to reevaluate every relationship, every board appointment, even my UN partnership and everything that I was working on at the time, and stop it all. I resigned from at least 70% of my posts, which, believe it or not, that was a lot. I was doing a lot and sometimes too much, and really just bring it into what matters, what's significant, which is your message, right? Significance. Right. What is significant to me, and how do I want to play out this next 20 years? And then really working with people to cast vision beyond that moment, because everything became cloudy. People were dying. People were arguing. People who used to be unified were now divided. Work that we did years ago was now coming to the forefront in the area of civil rights, and everything else was now coming to the forefront and had to be reevaluated again as to what's effective, what's not effective, what's helping people, what's not helping people. And to have that type of piddle time, as my grandmother would say, it's very important to have time to piddle, right? To have that amount of time to literally just sit on my couch and grab a cup of tea and have uninterrupted thoughts until I was done thinking. Woo, that was better than buying me a Maybach or a fur coat. I was like, time abundance is what we have. So I'm going to use my time to not really ignore the circumstances, but to cast vision beyond the circumstances and to start anchoring things as markers of where we are today, what we can get done, and then what we're really shooting for. Oddly, a lot of things that I've been saying up until that point actually became true. You don't have to spend a lot of money on broadcasting. You need to be able to bring it down to something that you can manage anywhere. Like my whole production studio, though we still have a big studio in Arizona, a beautiful one in Arizona, but my studio fits in my purse.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing what you can do?
Purse. And I've had that sort of conversation with myself since I saw Wolf Blitzer during the Persian Gulf War broadcast from his Bluetooth. I was like, I want to be able to do that. And so I was able to configure my switchers and my all the people that work with me who moved to cheaper environments, right? Alabama, different places, to be able to maximize broadcast was a very skinny capex, and then focus on global distribution and more in a more robust community focused way, instead of just saying, okay, we hit 213 countries, which a lot of broadcasters say, but how many people in those countries are you drilling into the market and making change? With Shelley Hunt, we were really able to drill into the market and create change with Women of Global Change, and she had 18 chapters before the pandemic hit. And we just sort of locked arms, and I think she's up to 30 chapters now, because of the actions that are being taken by women during SheCon, who just made a decision. We're going to feed our kids. We're going to help women feed their kids. And we're going to make sure that we make impact. By getting rid of like 70% of my jobs, I had a lot more time to do something meaningful in those spaces and connect the dots. And it just brought me a different level of fulfillment. I don't even know how to explain it to people. I kept chasing my have tos and really having no vision for my want tos before the pandemic. And now my credo is I'm only doing what I want to do. If I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it.
No, and I think that's fabulous. I love the fact, doing Scott Schilling Speaks now 5 days a week, and being able, yeah, exactly, having some great guests and being able to pass along some amazing information. One of the things I'm excited about, obviously, is we're going to take this show and put it on your networks, your OTT networks, right over the top.
And I'm so excited about that, because we've been threatening this for a long time. Exactly. And I would call you like every 6 months, go, can we get this on? I want to get it on. Can we get this on? And so, yeah, that's the best part of my job as CEO of Connect to Your City. I didn't resign from that one. We just made it more robust and deeper. But as CEO of Connect to Your City, we have the opportunity to really create this thing that Larry sort of coined, which is the visual economy, in a very meaningful way. Because if no one sees you, then no one knows who you are. And if you have to keep creating new content every day, you will burn yourself out. So that visual economy, except for you and me, because we like to talk and we do this every day.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, we just figured out ways to make it work for us. But some people, it's a daunting thing. So to be able to broadcast Scott Schilling Speaks, oh my gosh, you're like my favorite person. Like, you're like my favorite person. So that is so exciting to me, that I get to come alongside you as a media partner, and it becomes all about you and your voice and moving it that way. Where, I mean, and see a lot of people starting OTT networks, which is great. These are simulations of what they consider over the top, right? But, it's all about the endpoint. So we are distributing to multiple endpoints worldwide, so we can make each piece of we're trying to reach, and it lands someplace where we can actually move the audience. And I'm excited because you're also a speaker. One of my commitments is I'm not promoting talking heads. Like, I'm not promoting talking heads. If you don't have a real service and a real heart for transformation and change, you can go on a million other TV networks, but not Transformational Media Television, because it's called Transformational Media Television.
Exactly.
You're right. We need to see some change that you can count.
That's the part that I love, because this opportunity that we have here through the Be Connected Broadcast Network, being able to take this content, not only put it into our global community worldwide, but then take it and share it with your OTT networks, and give people the opportunity to have this opportunity that normally don't, right? There's some very famous people that have plenty of media. It goes back to one time I remember, and I won't share the name of the person, but I shared a very famous person's quotes consistently. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends looked at me one day and says, you know what? You create some pretty good content yourself. Number two, he's dead. Number three, his estate doesn't need any more money. Do this for you and for those around you.
Exactly.
And so I share that from a standpoint of, we now have the opportunity through the network here, through the broadcast network, and working together, you and I look forward to, being able to have shows with people that you suggest, that other people suggest. All of a sudden, a friend yesterday was watching yesterday's show and said, man, I've got a great guest for you. Her daughter was murdered. She was this. There's bankruptcies. It's just an amazing, and yet she rose from the ashes into something absolutely amazing. And I said, I would love to champion that story. You know, I love the ability to do this, and I love what you're doing once the stories are available.
I love it.
You just keep on.
Well, I love you, Scott, and you're always vetting in your conversation for the needful thing, right? You don't really like all the candy and the empty calories. You sort of vet for the needful thing. So that's why I love listening to you. I love when you call me, but I just realized that you were there at the TMTV launch in 2014.
Exactly. Yeah.
So to see these different iterations for you is even more powerful, because you were there when we were just on like one little IPTV network, and then we grew to having 64 different syndicated networks locally. Then we bought the local signal in Arizona, which was exciting, you know, for people to see a female own a signal, which people don't understand that didn't happen too much. Then during the pandemic, I said, that signal is not as effective as what we were already doing actually since 2006 on smart TV. Before it was called smart TV, it was IPTV.
Right.
So even the accolades of that, I sort of went, I don't care. And, you know, my coach is around me, Tina, but you're the first, and you're the first woman, you're the first Black woman. I'm like, I still did it first, but I don't need to keep that burden to keep up other people's appearances. My ego is not that big. I don't need it. Right? I'd rather save the money, focus on my kids, and focus on being effective and efficient, because I was all over the place with about 25 half-done projects, and just focus on completion and completion and completion. So when you look at this opportunity that you have, even on the platform that you're on right now, which I absolutely love, because I love anything that's going to connect people rapidly and in again a meaningful way. I say that specifically because of what's happening in social media with all the cancer culture and this and that, and it's not meaningful. And I don't know why 12-year-olds have the right to dictate your social media value. I just don't.
It's gotten crazy. You know, we were talking about this yesterday in another show, and having the opportunity to be as part of the Be Connected Broadcast Network, you know, and be able to reach places that we never really dreamed of, probably when we started this quickly. And then I was sharing with somebody yesterday who's going to do so much good. And I said, you know, it just so happens I have a friend that's got multiple OTT networks, and I'm pretty sure she would love your content. And he said, you would introduce me? And I said, I'd absolutely introduce you, just from the standpoint of, again, wanting to support you, your desire to distribute content to so many different households, you know, whether it be
transformational. You know, I have this crazy goal. Well, I had this crazy goal, which is funny because you remember hearing it for the first time, of distributing hope from here to outer Mongolia. And we did it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we distributed hope from here to outer Mongolia, inner and outer Mongolia. Now, my crazy goal is for every place that our content has a strong base, I want a satellite home base, right? So it's starting in Atlanta, where we are partnered with the She-Powerment movement, which is different from SheCon. It's one of our partners, and they have a huge TV production studio there. So instead of me trying to take the real estate and have to own it, I'm empowering another group of broadcasters there I'm distributing their content, but now we're adding more value by adding the OTT networks to it, right? That makes me excited. So I want every major city to have something that says CTYC television in it, so that we can bring this transformational content, not just content, transformational content with coaches and speakers and people who bring value to the world at large every single day.
Yeah, we definitely need it. You know, we need good messaging to go out and people who have the content to support those. You need the content, quite frankly, you know, and again, I love doing what we're doing. It was funny because I had everything from last week. My guests were anybody from an 8-figure entrepreneur maker from Sydney, Australia, to an East Texas mom who's the best mom ever, you know, homeschooling her daughter and doing things like that. I mean, what a great way to be able to share amazing messages across the entire spectrum. And
Yeah.
let's work for a little unity, you know, pull some community together, right?
Yeah, not commiserate, community.
That's exactly it. You know, try to pull some people together. So how do we keep on working on this? I know you've got well, you got two amazing kids, but you have a fabulously
Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with these human beings, you know, and just the thought that I got to be their mom and I get to be their mom as adults, right? People ask me, like, what are you most proud of? What's your biggest accomplishment? Is that I got to be a steward over two amazing, brilliant, very unique individuals who are adding to the world in transformational content. What else is there? Like, you can literally drop the mic at that moment. I mean, that is just so fulfilling.
Well,
within it.
I'll allow you to do the mic drop, but I need a little, we need a little asterisk in there with some of Kai's videos and how many people she's reached with her messaging at her age.
Well, she is, you know, this young lady, you know, even though she looks 12, she is 24. I have to remind myself that sometimes, but she's a beast. I mean, in a positive way. She's a businesswoman. She's about her business. But when the shutdown happened, she was just beginning to release some of her independent music, and she just pivoted into TikTok and literally started making these short little 10-second videos, went crazy viral. And made a whole business model around it. I mean, because of just her own creativity and her ability to edit and to take her little slab, as she calls it, send out empowering messages and great content, she's been able to touch over 3 billion views. So
that was with a B, correct?
3 billion with a B. So, I mean, that's more than I could do. I was like, oh my gosh. You know, that is amazing, but she's always had an obsession with the internet since she was a little girl. And she's great with her visuals, incredible with production and how she sees things and storytelling. So she does what I do in long form. She does it in 10 seconds. How can you beat that?
Well, and her release of her latest music video has how many views now?
Oh, Great Big Party. I'm not even sure. I know that we're about to celebrate 1 million streams on Great Big Party. She hit over 1 million with Madam, which is her empowerment song. And then she has a fun dance song coming out that's out now, but she's doing a video now, which is a little more grown and sexy. And I love that about her, that she can, I said, girl, you got a size 2 body. Use it while you can. Because you look good. Okay. But that video is almost done, and it's called Big Daddy Dracula. And then she has some other crazy topics that if you just listen to him on the surface, for instance, with Big Daddy Dracula, every guy, because she's a beautiful girl, I want to be your Dracula. Can I be your Dracula in your video? She said, well, it's not about a person, but if you want to be an incubus of negative energy and mental abuse, you could do that, because that's what the song's about.
Wow. She's found an amazing way to share messages for the
messages. But she has a lot of fun. You know, ironically, a lot of her audience, they are children. So we're looking forward to doing a concert, hopefully on a larger gaming platform, which I won't say yet until we actually finish the negotiation and stuff. She has a friend advocating for her, but she really cares about the kids. And I see that, and I see her character at 24 years old, being in the middle of Hollywood, for her to be humble and to reach out to women, even when they're hating on her, and say, I'm not your competition. You know, there's enough for all of us, and we need to empower each other. I'm just so proud of her. And then, of course, my son, Gerard, the oldest, he's just a prolific writer and an incredible, intricate thinker. And he's probably a lot more introverted than she is. But I got to see this phenomenon this year of them two performing together in this platform. And it's just, whoo, I mean, I don't know what else to say. When I see my kids put on the mic together, I'm just like, whoa.
Exactly. Well, you're doing so many different things, and obviously, I just had to bring in the kids for a second there for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, but please, that's my life work. Everything else is extra, tertiary, gravy. But to see them, and when they were kids, when they were little, I was a little worried, because I homeschooled and stuff. So, oh my gosh, am I messing up my kids, raising them to be critical thinkers and free thinkers and all this other stuff? And now I see them as adults and I say, oh, okay, great. They think for themselves. They know how to do they have great critical thinking skills. They know how to be resourceful in any environment. They know how to start a business and make whatever environment work for them. They're okay. They're good.
Absolutely awesome. So with everything that you're doing, what's next? Where do we go from here?
The biggest thing that I'm really honing in on is getting people on the network, which I really see a lot of people going on air, but it's forcing me to go back into coaching, because during the pandemic, a lot of people did Zoom. They jumped on TV networks. They're still not seeing the traction that they want. And I may not be the home for everyone. I'm only the home for change agents. Okay. Right. But there is a way to design a brand. And what I've been known for is brand architecture and, massive distribution. And I haven't taught it that much lately. So I'm bringing that back to the table. I'll be teaching a class, Hope Reimagined, when it comes to visual economy. But these people will learn real time. They're going to be on a TV show that's going to be distributed everywhere. So your collaterals are going to be handled. This is not a talking head class. There's labs. We're going to handle your social. We're going to handle your sound bites, your narratives. We're going to handle your revenue models. Then we're going to handle your TV show. So when you're on, your little salesman in your TV show is working for you 24 hours a day. And meanwhile, you get to do the meaningful things, the reasons why you became a change agent in the first place, and enjoy it. Have your business work for you instead of you work for your business. I know that's
absolutely awesome. And we're really at that time. I know my platform is to do what I can do to return respect, honor, and dignity to the planet. I love being able to do these shows and bring on guests that share that philosophy of, we can get to the tipping point. You put enough good people together doing enough good work, amazing what happens, right?
Exactly. I want to be a pandemic of hope and love. I'm tired of the other pandemics. We are the disruptor. We are the virus. We are the pandemic. We're going to be the ones who shift the system. If we're intentional about it, it's not enough to just talk to people who only look like us, talk like us. We have to be willing to be disruptors in this time. And I feel if your skill sets are strong, you won't feel weird when NBC calls you, or some people can't wait for NBC to call them. And unfortunately, a lot of those people who are available for the major outlets, really, we shouldn't be hearing from them. We really shouldn't. The people who are not speaking are the ones we really need to hear from, because they're the ones who are really doing the work. So that's why I'm doing this class. There's only room for about 30 people overall in each class, because this is based on a TV show called The Coaches Live.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's based on it for the people who are going to be, are sort of my ideal client. There are people who are coming in who just want the media training. They're like, don't you put me on TV? I'm not ready for that, but I would like to leverage my assets in a way that helps me to make money, right? I'll get them on television eventually, because once they see the 10x or even 100x in a lot of cases that you have, the minute we press that button and you're on air, they're not going to want to talk to one person at a time. They're going to enjoy the thousands and sometimes millions of people they get to engage with the click of a button. And that let that work for you. That's your marketing and sales team. But I'm most excited about the content that's going to come out of it, because not everyone may be on the Coaches Live. They may just want to work on their own content, which I'm excited about. That I want to hear what people are up to. I want to hear some of the solutions that are in our community. I want to be that person that sort of brags about you, like, oh my gosh, like I do with you. Oh my gosh, you have to meet this person. They are so awesome. Because that's the reason why I got on air. I did not get on air because I wanted to see myself and hear my voice. I got to the place in 2018 when people said Tina speaks, and I was like, Tina speaks, so what? I'm tired of hearing my voice. Can someone else take this position? And then reimagining my hope was I have to do it, because I got here so that I can usher or facilitate an experience to introduce a wider mass audience to something that is so needful and so powerful and so delicious that they have to engage with it. And that's the only reason why I got involved in media, is to introduce people to the little stuff that's in my back pocket, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. So how does everybody, we're wrapping up here. How does everybody get a hold of you if they want to learn more about the Transformational TV network and everything that you've got going on?
Well, there's two things you can do. If you are a Roku subscriber or you have Roku on your smart TV, you can go over to Roku and put in connect to your city, spelled out, and you will see at least 30 of our networks right now. We're putting all of them up there, which is about 60 that are public networks. The other ones are private networks. So you'll be able to go there and sort of see that we have all different types of stuff going on. I tell people to go there first, not TMTV, because TMTV is just that channel. When you go to connect to your city on Roku, you get to see all the niches that people can fit in, right? From wellness to athletes to comedy to music to news. We have it all there. So that's the first thing. The second thing is go over to Tina Speaks right now. We are redesigning the site, but right now there's a form on it just for this purpose. Fill out the form. Then myself or one of my team members will contact you and we will do an assessment. This isn't a commitment. To be on television or any type of media, social media, is a commitment because you're not deleting that media. You have to really be committed to the long haul with that soundbite. So we do a bit of an assessment and an interview to see if you're a fit. We don't just take your money. If you're not a fit, you're not a fit. That's a reality. Again, because there's limited slots. So they can go to tinaspeaks.com, fill out the form. If you want to learn more about my beautiful daughter and what she's up to, she's IamKi, EYEAMKI. And you can sort of break it apart to see what a really good media brand looks like when it comes to capturing small form. And now she has her own TV network launching, Kai TV, OTT network, just for influencers, you know, the younger ones, you know, the 30s and under influencers. You know, and really wrapping all those assets around her and how she's sort of able to wake up and pull her email and go, okay, we have magazine cover. Okay, we're going to be here, just because she has her assets in order.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here. We're going to have to do more shows, obviously. There's excuse me.
Whenever you want me, you know. I told my kids, I said, I get to go hang out with Scott Schilling for a little while. I haven't seen him since 2019. So this will have to do, the interview. It will have to do. Absolutely. And I love it so much. So whenever I can be of service, just let me know.
Will do. Thank you all for joining us here today on Scott Schilling Speaks. We'll see you again, same time tomorrow. God bless.